Aren't you gonna call the meeting to order first?
Public comments first, then we'll call the
That's
meeting to
what
order.
the agenda say.
It's a public
Call
comments.
to order. We need to start, we need to follow the agenda.
We are following the agenda. This is how we've done it every year, every month, every week. That we have public comments first, then we call the meeting to order.
I don't see public comment. No, but it doesn't say public. Go ahead, man.
Greetings, I'm Dr. Nancy J. Williams O'Haramy, and this is like the executive summary part 3. I've given the part 1 and 2 before in the previous meetings. As you start your campaign for mayor and council, I challenge you to add more quality of life through development that speaks to quality of the person, family, and community. 2, I challenge you to speak to businesses and ask them to start providing great customer service in our cities as mentioned at our last meeting. To add quality development and incoming businesses that add to our property values. We want honesty, transparency, and integrity as you do business for our city. Things that add sustainability, like the idea that Ranger Robbie has for growing our foods and planting fruit-bearing trees, bushes, and plants. We want to know that our voices are being heard. We want persons that are employed by our city to have experience and a track record that speaks to that. As community residents, I challenge our residents to get involved in the process. Make sure we're not just a voice of complaints, but of actions. As a resident or local business owner, to patronize our city businesses first. This is how you grow a city. We have a mall, shop there. We have a theater, go there. We have a National Heritage and Animal Rescue Center and historical sites. Visit them. We have our own grocery stores and gas stations. Patronize them. We have eating establishments and entertainments. Try them. We have local newspapers. Advertise in them. Do business first here before going anywhere else. I shop here. I eat here. I started a summer walking group program here. I go to the theater here. I get my hair and nails done here. I exercise here. I service my car here. I live here. I run my business from here. Last week I found a new CPA for my taxes here, and I met you here. As a resident, I challenge each and every one of you to do the same. This is our city. Let's use it first and then go elsewhere.
Good evening, I'm Dr. Lisa Brad, and I have lived in DeKalb County since 1988. And just wanted to ask us, or at least think about, and I'll just use my voice, I'm confident so I can do this. Thank you. For us to embrace a different mindset. And this is particularly for the economic development arm of our new organization, but we're the only community that continues to beg other businesses to come in and service us. So I would like for our new city of Stonecrest to be a model to the nation where we have developed our own businesses. And it's very similar to what Nancy was talking about, for us to develop our own and to patronize our own. So instead of begging others, that we can begin to do for self. I teach at Tuskegee University. It's the home of Booker T. Washington, who was the model of doing for self and picking yourself up by your own bootstraps. But I would like to see this community, new city of Stonecrest, be a model to the nation, and for us not to beg other people to come in and take our money.
Thank you. Please say your name as well.
Okay, my name is Louise Ellen Alexander. I'm known as Ellen. I'm a volunteer at the Stonecrest Library. One of my concerns is, I read the charter, is that when we look at the term limits for being in office, there is nothing clearly defined stating what the term limits should be. I would not want a person to get in office and stay there forever. You understand? And I think a lot of people here would not want that. You want somebody to turn. So I need to know what needs to be done so that, because it's not written in the charter at all, because I've been through the charter.
The charter actually states that it's a 4-year time period, but that
That's right.
it's an unlimited.
And I would not want no unlimited person in there forever. That's one of the problems we have with our Senate and representatives now.
But yeah, but I was just saying.
Yeah, I understand. That's what the charter says, right?
Actually tells you that it is
Right.
unlimited.
So I wanna know what do we need to do to get it, so that they're term limits, what needs to be put in writing, so it's clearly defined that there are term limits. You have to do bylaws, I'm not sure how you set that up, so who can answer that question?
Okay.
Or do we need to put it on a ballot, to say you can only stay in for 2 terms?
So just for clarity's sake, this is public comment. You will not get a response to the statements that you make from the Governor's Commission, but we are documenting what your comments are.
Okay.
And the committee chairs for the different subcommittees are in the room, so the Economic Development Committee Chair, Parks and Rec, Planning and Zoning, they're all here so they can hear your comments as well. Sean, who's next?
Someone next in this area? That gentleman right there? No, gentleman with the dreads.
All right.
Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dawson Christie, and I just become a citizen of Atlanta, America. My great concern is beyond Stonecrest, is a blueprint for the solution for traffic problem in all Atlanta. So my argument and my comment is about the solution for traffic and the tragedy on the roads and everything about design, and I don't really finish design of the solution for the traffic problem in Atlanta. One of the main designers that really come up with this idea is that too much people is dying on the road every day. And some of the people from up north, like our transportation system is kind of outdated, it's limited, it don't really go far where it should be. So my argument is, what is the governor or the commission gonna do for that solution? The relocation statistics for Georgia every is like, say, 50,000 people a month. So the traffic on the road is gonna keep growing, and the solution is not being implemented to really make a solution for that. So if the city or the governor really willing to really adapt or implement my ideas or look at the ideas what I really have to really, present to them, it'd be a good idea, because there's too much tragedy on the road and it's gonna get worse and worse as the year go by. Every year that there's a great snowstorm up north, there's at least 100,000 people moving to Georgia. And my thing is like this, what is the solution? That's my comment. But I have a design for the solution, and the design is gonna be like a tube. Say the design will be rail train, and it's gonna utilize electric panel to really generate the train stuff. So we're gonna look at least 5 or 10 years from now down the road, because as Martin Luther King said, Georgia is going to be the Mecca of the South. Now it become the Mecca of the South, but the infrastructure no designed for a Mecca of the South. So what are we going to do? Because people dying every day.
Thank you.
Is there someone else?
Yeah.
We only have 4, okay, here you go.
Well, here and then. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Cedric Samuels. I'm a registered soccer coach for Georgia Soccer, and I just wanted to ask questions about the soccer development in the city of Stonecrest. I'm a resident of the city of Stonecrest. I live in west of the Stonecrest apartment complexes, and there's a lot of land in the Stonecrest Mall vicinity, and I would like to ask, like, directly behind the Bank of America, what is the plans for that land in particular? Because that would be a nice place that we could probably develop a nice little soccer field for, the kids in the area, and at least have it where other zip codes can come to our city for tournaments and that kind of stuff and matches. The current club I work for is United. It's in Johns Creek, so I'm leaving my city to go coach kids in another city, in another zip code. Whereas the kids in our, zip code don't have the same access to the same fields and the same quality coaches. So I just want to know what's the solution for that. And I do have a pamphlet that maybe we could go over as far as the economic development of the game of soccer.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Freddie Reagan. I'm the president of Lakers at Stony Creek HOA. My comment is that if we don't call the meeting to order, according to our rule of order, you cannot make those comments and record them in the minutes because you don't have no one. They cannot record the minutes until the meeting is open. We have to make, then we do that, we can include those comments and you can respond to them. Just making comments not open, not the meeting not being called to order. You cannot do that. And also, as far as the soccer concerned, okay, I've officiated soccer for 27 years, and the first thing we need to do is set up some program that'll be for the children and also to certify referee. I was a FIFA referee grade 7, and I'll be willing to help you.
Thank you. The point of order is noted.
Next, Sean. Anybody else?
My name is Renee Carroll. I work with Citizens for a Healthy and Safe Environment. We're based in Lithonia. I guess it's Stonecrest now. But I just wanted everybody to be aware we've been battling several bad things that they try to place in Lithonia that are not good for our environment. And we don't want anything else on Rogers Lake Road, so we're gonna, hopefully I'll be able to work with planning and zoning, and maybe some of you will join it. But a lot of times things come in here that you don't even know are coming. And if you have asthma or any type of respiratory problems, we are definitely dealing with the bad air quality around here. So as we move into our new city, just be cognizant of what's coming. And if you hear anything, you know, I'll give you a number and you can call us and maybe you can join us in this battle. But when you get some time, go down Rogers Lake Road and look at all the horrible things on there that are near people's homes. So anything else coming here and we know it's going to be near you or near us, we will definitely let you know. Thank you.
Getting my exercise in now. You didn't raise your hand when I was standing over here.
I was just holding out, I'm sorry.
Hello everyone, my name is Cedric Beasley, and I own a business here as well as serve on one of the subcommittees.
You're staring under a speaker, that's why you.
Okay, I'll talk louder then. Okay. I'm going to piggyback on ideas to bring business here, and there is a new industry that started, which is the entertainment industry. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Formula E Racing. Basically, it's racing with total electric cars, and it's only like one track in this entire country of the United States. It's in New York. But basically, since this is a race location, you've got the Atlanta Motor Speedway. The fact that you can get guys that are racing electric cars, that could be a boom. There's no other place in America except New York that has this. It's total electric racing, basically. It is a big popular sport that's caught on overseas. It's only in one place in the United States, that's New York, but if you get something like that here, it might drive a lot of business here. It's called Formula E Racing. You can look it up online.
Anyone else? Once again, crossing the through.
Exercising.
Stonecrest, a recreational community.
I'm Dorothy Bailey, and I'm retired from Warner. But what I want to know is, as I'm driving, I see everyone going north. So as far as I voted no, because I couldn't see us supporting a city with, we basically don't have a tax base as far as commercial. And then when our taxes go up, and then we're paying county taxes, who wants to move here? I have several family members that move into Comm because they don't want to be a part, because they don't see anything good in Lithonia. So, and then we took maybe 20 members up north to eat because they don't offer good service here as far as restaurants. So I want to know, as far as the tax base, what's going to happen when we don't get these commercial buildings coming in? as far as city and county taxes. And that's basically my concern, because as my husband's getting ready to retire, we're thinking of moving, because we can't see Stonecrest as far as basically, they say we have 50,000 and less than maybe 6,000 voted for yes or no. So where were the other people? And why wasn't everybody aware of what was going on? And I know that we have a lot of low-income apartments, but basically, it wasn't put out the correct way as far as I was concerned, because when I talked to my daughter who has 2 properties, she wasn't aware of being able to, we were going to have to pay city and county taxes.
That's fine.
And that's basically our concern.
Anybody else?
Yeah, we have one here and one over there.
My name is Geraldine Champion, and I've been in this county over 50 years. I saw Stonecrest go up when they built it. If we use our common sense, we'll know that the businesses, those big businesses that moved out, they're not coming back here. They are not coming back here. And I think I speak to a lot of people when their concern is these taxes, but it's gonna cost us. That's why I didn't see no sense in even making it a city. It's gonna cost us. We're already paying the Cobb County taxes. We know how much money they're supposed to have in the budget, so to speak, for Stonecrest. About enough to last you 2 years. Where are the revenues coming from after that? Now, if you think you're right, it's gonna come out of our pockets. Because those businesses, they're not coming back here. And the people gonna call and say, why did you leave? It's just no business. I mean, we don't have any customers. And you think they're gonna come back here? No. So where the money's gonna come from? Where, somebody needs to answer that. Where is the money gonna come from?
This is the comment section, so what's your
Take it on up where
Hello. My name is Evelyn Cunningham, and I wasn't going to say anything, but I had to get up and say something. And the reason for that is, it's here. It was voted on. Now, what we have to do as a community is come together and find out what we have to do to band together. There's too many times we said, oh, well, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. What we have to do as a community is voted on, it's here. So we have to come together and work together and make this work. We cannot afford them to say, well, you know, we shouldn't have given it to them. This is what we are right now. So we got to put the negative out. I know there's concern, but we have to come up with solutions, and we have to band together and make it work. And as far as a restaurant over here, I own a restaurant in this area. And I felt like we as a community have to come together and support each other. If we keep going up the north, that's where our money gonna go. So now that we form a city, we have to make it work, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. We cannot keep saying we're going up north or we're going to the other community. That's what bothers me. We as a community have to come together and make this happen, make it work for it to be a positive thing.
We're gonna take 2 more comments.
No, we have
No, we got two. We got 2 seconds? Okay, take your time, I'm sorry. 2 minutes.
All right, good evening. I'm a citizen of Stonecrest, Eric Hubbard. And what I want to say is that we are a city, it was voted on. We have to, we're either gonna sing together or we're gonna float together. As it relates to taxes, we're only offering 3 services. Our taxes are not going up. Code enforcement, parks and recs, and planning and zoning. Businesses, I've been in government for 17 years. I've spoken to businesses that want to come back to Stonecrest because they want to work with something new and no BS from people saying, we're not going to approve this ordinance, we're not going to approve that. So we can make it happen. We are making it happen, but we have to work together. I know that You, Ms. Champion, I know you for many years. Yes, and we work together. That's right. But now, and some of these people who are new 2 years, 5 years, or even 1 year, they have to understand when we work together with our government, and a smaller government is going to bring about a change. However you think it, that is what it will be. We have to think economic development, think about working with our neighbors. All these people who are offering themselves as candidates, I applaud everyone. Win, lose, or draw, we still got to work together. Right. There's no going back now. Right. And we're going to get the naysay, that's fine. I even had to go back and forth 4 years ago with people who didn't want the city, and I was trying to explain why we should have the city. We have plans. It can happen. Let's work together. If we got any negative stuff, I know we got the press here, let's try to talk about it among ourselves and work this thing out. And let's get this thing going. I believe that if you make one step, God will make two. And that's just me. And so let's make it work. Let's talk about it. And then I think you wanted to work this, Chad, because you're a candidate yourself.
Hello.
Right. That's right. And that's what we're here for. That's right. And I think that's what everyone's here for. Yes, ma'am. And I just want to make that statement, if we can do it together and do our plans, and it's only conservative, not to have fire, not to have water, all that is for these skills.
We got time for one more comment.
My name is Bill Taylor. I live in the park of Stonecrest. I too was one of those optimistic. My wife and I was very optimistic about whether the city should form, but like the lady said here, and the gentleman said there, it's here. So it's up to us. I'm one of the gentlemen that will sit on the board for code enforcement, so I'm ready to roll up my sleeves. It's good to see the crowd here. I just piggyback on him because that's exactly what I was getting ready to say. Regardless of how or what we wanted, it's here.
It's here.
And so we have an opportunity to look at other cities, see what they did, and at the end of the day, we have an opportunity to choose what we want. And there's only 3 answers in life. My brother said it's 4, but it's only 3. It's yes, no, and maybe. You don't know until you roll up your sleeves, get involved. I challenge everyone to just get involved where you are. If there's something about the city that is passionate to you, get involved in that area. Because you are part of the solution. You can't say they did this, it's we, it's us. So I just piggyback on what the lady over here and the gentleman over here said. It's here, it's not going anywhere. So we might as well roll up our sleeves and make it the best song we can.
All right.
Are you gonna take any more, or is that it?
We gotta give them time. We got time for one more, 6:57.
My name is Roy Prosser. I've been in this area for about 25 years. I remember when Stonecrest was just a field that we didn't want the kids to drive in. What I hope we do, that I see a lot of governments not doing, is making sure that we make use of all of the communication tools. For people to say, well, we didn't know about it, because frankly, I didn't really know about it. And I'm on my Twitter, I'm on my Facebook, so I'm hoping that we really get a good communication arm to this city so that everyone knows what's going on. Good, bad, or indifferent, we can't leave it up to our newspapers, obviously, so I really hope that we get an arm. I'm willing to pay a little extra money, taxes, to make sure that we have a communication part of the city.
Good evening. It is now 7 p.m. and we're calling this meeting to order. In the spirit of inclusion, I'd like to ask for a volunteer from our citizenry to give the invocation.
Let's bow our heads, please. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for bringing this community together this evening. We ask that you help us to open our ears and our eyes so that we can see the benefits, the advantages of this city. We ask that you please, Father, help us to work together in unity and to focus on economic development and all the many things that we know we need to do in order to build a strong city. We ask that you help us to collaborate, to reach across those differences, because we are a diverse community, and that you help us to look a little deeper, to understand each other, and to find ways that we can work together to have a positive meeting tonight and to be able to take the next step forward so that we can evolve as a strong economic hub. Father, we ask for forgiveness of our sins. We ask you to please help us to look deeper, to understand each other, not necessarily agree, but Father, help us to understand each other and then work together as one. At the end of the day, we are one Stonecrest. We ask this prayer in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Doom. Second item on the agenda is acceptance of minutes from the meetings of January 5th, 2017 and January 12th. This is a procedural that we did not do in the previous meetings. The meetings, however, have been published and are available on the website. So it's just a procedural matter for us to formally accept the minutes from those two previous meetings. I need to get a motion from the committee.
Move the minutes to be approved. Second that.
All in favor of approval of the minutes from meetings of January 5th and January 12th, 2017, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meetings from the minutes from the meetings of January 5th and January 12th, 2017 have been adopted, have been accepted. The next item on the agenda is a report from the commission attorney, represented by Mr. Tom Curry of Coleman Talley. Oh, you can come up here.
Let me see if I can do it without that.
Okay.
Thank you, Joel. Good evening. Commissioners. I want to introduce to you two attorneys that are with me here this evening that are part of our law firm who are going to be part of this effort in order to have this city up and running when the city council and mayor are elected. So I want to introduce to you Janelle Lean and Laura Cosgrave. What we hope to report at the next meeting is what that first meeting of the city council and mayor will look like and what items will be taken under consideration at that time. And so that we will then be working toward, once we have the agreement of the commission, we will then be working toward ordinances, contracts, all the various things that need to be done in order to get the city to begin. In the past 2 weeks, just to bring you up to date, I've sent you all copies of my report, and Mrs. Burgess, I just emailed to her, so anybody wanting a copy of this report, it will be available to you. We have talked to the Planning and Sustainability Department, and we've requested copies of all zoning applications that have been filed since November 8, 2016, so that we can get an understanding as to what's taking place with regard to certain applications that are being made. We have not received those yet. In our meeting with the county attorney today, he indicated that he would follow back up on that question that's there. I have been told that a property owner has filed an application relating to property in the industrial park, relating to rezoning certain properties, really for the purpose of being able to reparcel those properties and to perhaps subdivide them for marketing purposes. We're still awaiting copies of those applications, and once we have those, then I can report further on that. The other item is that we've looked at is that the DeKalb County has come up with a period of time when they're doing the amendment to their 2035 comprehensive plan for zoning. And planning is a requirement under the Georgia Code for municipalities, counties, other governmental entities that are involved in zoning, such as regional planning commissions and the like. The draft of the plan showed Stonecrest as white, meaning that it's not part of the DeKalb County Comprehensive Plan. When it came before the commission last Tuesday, it was deferred. The question may come up is whether or not the county may put suggestions with regard of what they were planning to do with respect to Stonecrest. The only thing that I want to tell you is that, notwithstanding if they do anything or not, the new city is not subject to the planning requirements under the Georgia Code, but has the requirement in order to enact its own comprehensive plan during the transition period. So if anything is done, the zoning department then can look at any sort of plans that have been done in the past, if it's consistent or not, but they're under no obligation to do so. The final item is that we had a meeting with the county attorney after we've been engaged. We had met with them earlier, but until we've been engaged, really didn't have any authority to talk with them. And we've identified the matters that we talked about today, the number of intergovernmental agreements that need to be prepared. And given the fact that at this point in time, we're not doing anything with fire services or doing anything regarding the public safety. And initially we'll have the county to continue its services relating to the roads and stormwater, all of which are items that are individually itemized on the tax bills of the citizens. And so if the recommendation is for the city at this time to opt into that for the council, then those are items that we don't have to have any sort of agreements. But the agreements that will need to be done relates to cash tax commissioner services. There's a change in the statute last year where before you were negotiating with the tax commissioner, now you're really dealing with both that and the county commission. Elections, fire marshal, 911, and parks until such time as the city is ready to take over the management and the operation of the parks that are there. We also discussed procedures for modification of the boundaries. There's some issues that the boundaries run down the middle of roads based upon the way that the legislation was written. It has to go to one side or the other because of now who's responsible for the roads. You can't be responsible for a half a road anymore. You've got to be responsible for the whole road. And then there's also some lots that have been split, and the question is to how that is done. The county attorney and we discussed it. I have given my opinion as it relates to the means by which that should be done, and we've concluded that it is a legal matter and that the attorneys will then come to a conclusion and then relay the information back to the respective city and county representatives. We have responded to 2 open records requests. One's been answered. Another is due tomorrow. Those requests have been delivered to all of you for you to look at. And so that's my report. If any of the commissioners have any questions, I'll be glad to answer. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we heard the report from the commission council.
We have a motion to accept the commission council's report as presented and delivered. Okay. You have a second?
A second.
All in favor of accepting the attorney's report? All in favor? Any opposed? Attorney's report is now accepted. Next item is consideration of a resolution to name a city administration consultant. The resolution reads, resolved that Marie L. Garrett is appointed as the city administrative consultant to the Governor's Commission, City of Stonecrest, to assist said commission in such matters as described in OCGA Section 3631A, as may be requested by until such time that the mayor and members of the city council are sworn and seated. The foregoing is subject to the written acceptance of such appointment by Ms. Garrett and her agreement to perform said duties for no consideration. Ms. Garrett's qualifications have been advanced to the commission. I think that it's fair to say to the citizens of Stonecrest that Ms. Garrett previously served as the city manager of the city of Brookhaven, where a lot of her experience was. Do we have a motion to consider the resolution?
Motion to consider a resolution.
Do we have a second? Discussion or questions? Ms. Garrett is here and present at the meeting. If you have any questions for her.
Okay, so I know what we're saying, but we just need to be clear that Ms. Garrett is doing this for free, right? Correct. Okay, so that's why I want to say it's free. We cannot bind the city to any liability.
Ms. Manuel, I spoke with her personally before this resolution was drafted.
No, I mean for everybody else.
Yeah, we understand.
Yeah, no, not you. I know you know.
I just wanted to make sure she knew.
I said I did know.
Okay,
Can you stand up so everyone can see?
And as I read in the resolution, I want to make it clear that Ms. Garrett is consultant to the Governor's Commission. And so when our time expires as the Governor's Commission, so does Ms. Garrett's service. So everything would transition then to the elected city officials, and any involvement by any parties here would then be sanctioned by them. Okay, discussion, any further discussion? I'd like to call a vote. All in favor of the resolution to name Marie L. Garrett as city administration consultant, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, it's been unanimously passed that Ms. Marie L. Garrett is named city administration consultant. Congratulations and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
I wanted to give a brief update in item 5 on RFQs. RFQs some of them are being finalized and some will be further developed as we show in the next agenda item. But we were getting questions about RFQs, about when those requests for qualifications for city services and other items that we put out there, when would they be published? I spoke to our legal organ, the Champion newspaper. So what we are planning to do is to deliver all those RFQs to the Champion no later than noon on Thursday, February 2nd, for publication on in their February 9th issue. And therefore, you should expect RFQs to be published in the CAB's legal organ in the February 9th issue of the Champion newspaper. Those RFQs will also be published, probably prior to that time, on the Stonecrest webpage, so that we have as many outlets as possible for those RFQs to be viewed and assessed by the citizens. And that's my update. Any questions?
Can you give me the acronym for RFQ? Can you spell it out?
Request for qualifications.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Is there a cost for
publishing those notices in the other local newspapers that we have that service the general area? Do we know that?
I don't know. We would have to investigate if there's a cost in those other newspapers.
Yeah, I think if there's no heartburn in getting it published, I think we ought to consider those as well, even though I understand and appreciate the requirement for the official organ. I think some
Right.
folks may have access to the other papers as well that may not necessarily get the same.
Okay, I would take that under consideration, Mr. Butts, and report back to the commission. Okay. Item number 6, consideration of a resolution to publish RFQs or requests for qualifications for city positions, notably city manager, city clerk, and municipal judge as required by the city charter. The resolution reads, resolve that the commission prepare or cause to be prepared for publication requests for qualification for the following city of Stonecrest positions: city manager, city clerk, and municipal judge. Do I have a motion to consider the resolution?
I'm so moved.
Okay, do I have a second? Discussion. I wanted to make a statement regarding these, just to make it clear to the citizens of Stonecrest that the Governor's Commission is publishing the request for qualifications. We will review them, and then we will make recommendations to your elected government. We will not be doing the hiring of these positions. Your elected officials will do the hiring once they are sworn into office. Our job in this case is to simply do the work ahead of time so that at such time when the government is seated, and Mr. Curry said in his report, there will be agenda items for the actual hiring of these positions, and the city council and mayor are free to accept or reject any recommendations made by the Governor's Commission.
If you please, Mr. Chairman, a question. Does the charter specifically suggest that these persons filling these 3 positions be residents of the city of Stonecrest?
That is not specifically stipulated in the charter.
Should it be?
No, we want in the mind of the people, and I served on the Alliance, the Stonecrest City Alliance. It has always been our belief that we should find the best possible people, and not necessarily people who reside in the city of Stonecrest. Now, knowing my neighbors, I'm confident that there may be people qualified within the city of Stonecrest, because we have people who currently serve countywide and statewide positions who are residents of this city. But it is not a requirement that they reside in the city, simply so that we can remain open to the best possible people taking those positions.
I reserve a question on that.
Okay, we're gonna.
I don't want to say more, but I reserve a question on that.
So, just to put it out there, so we've had conversations with other new cities that have formed, like Tucker and a couple of others, and it's not uncommon in most cases to hire outside for those in part or in whole, those positions. So it's nothing new. I just want to put that out there.
The reason I'm reserving a question on that is that, just like the lady said earlier in the public comment, if you have businesses in this area, buy from that business. You're asking me to pay my taxes to someone who lives outside of the city, and I understand trying to get the best person for the job. I understand that clearly, but I'm just saying for the initial employment of these positions, could there be a stipulation, since our taxes will be paying their salary, could the initial people in those positions be required to come out of the city of Stonecrest?
That would be a question to pose to your mayor and council when they're considering those positions.
My question was that
Well, my experience with that, from working at the President's Advisory Board for the City of Fairborn, Ohio, we hire city manager from outside the area, but once we hire he or she, they have to reside within the city. That's all we need to do. We want someone who is well qualified. If they take the job, they know that they have to live. That's what we do. We add it in, and they have to, they have to become a citizen of the city. That's what we call. You want to get the best people in the world, but you want to make sure once you get them, they will be part of the. You want to add that. That's all it is.
Understood. I don't say that that's a good or bad idea, but it would be, any changes to the charter would have to be done by ordinance by the elected government of Stonecrest. The commission doesn't have that authority.
The last point, in your minutes, could you let that question be put in your minutes?
We can have that question included in the minutes.
Mr. Chair, in terms of the municipal judge, is that going to be one position initially, or more than one?
One position. Any further?
Correct me if I'm wrong. The Governance Commission is going to be with us for what, 90 days?
Until there's a government seated.
Okay, is there any, is there going to be a period when the new elected commissioners are working in tandem with the Governance Commission?
According to state statute, as soon as the mayor and city council are installed, the Governor's Commission dissolves. Now, if the government wants to continue to work with us as individuals or as a consulting group who prepared these recommendations, that's up to the mayor and the city council. But the state statute says that we dissolve officially when they take office.
Now, but my question really is that it's kind of loaded question. Who are going to train these new commissions?
There are a number of state entities, including the Paul Vincent Institute and another entity at Georgia State, who actually train elected officials.
And actually, when they get elected, they're required to go through state training. They have to.
And they have two sessions. They'll go to the fall session. The next available session will be in the fall, September, October. They'll automatically go to those sessions.
Thank you, Chief. Okay. We have time for one last one.
Quick question. With regard to the three positions, city manager, city clerk, and municipal judge, are you going to be recommending a number of people for each one of these, like a slate for each one of these positions, or are you going to be recommending one person for these?
Until we
when you make your recommendation to the elected official, that's what
when we make the recommendation, it would depend on the level of competence of who we're getting. If we have a number of equally qualified people, I could see us recommending a number of people, or if we have only one that stands above, we see us recommending the best, but we won't know that until we see what we got. Okay, can I call for a vote? All in favor of adopting the resolution to publish requests for qualifications for the city positions of city manager, city clerk, and municipal judge, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the resolution has been unanimously adopted. Do we have any updates from our community committees, their chairs, or from the vice chair of the community committee? Well, Mr. Ernst?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Just wanted to provide the Governor's Commission and the rest of you some awareness points related to the community committees. So the committees have been charged to be prepared to deliver their January report at the next meeting, which is February 2nd. So each committee will have a 5-minute presentation made by their chairs to share with you the discussion and the activities and any recommendations they have related to their charge. So that will be next Thursday at this particular meeting.
In advance of that, each of the committees are required to turn in the minutes from their meetings, and our plan is to publish the minutes from those discussions by Tuesday, so that you'll have enough time in advance of those presentations to have read through the meat of the discussion, because there obviously won't be enough time to present the full scope of what has happened. Most of the committee chairs are here today, and I'd like to just quickly ask them to share the final day and time of their meetings. I know a couple of the committees, most of them have met twice already. I know a couple of the committees scheduled a meeting and they finally settled on a location, day and time based upon the members of the committee. So, Mr. Vike from planning, when is your meeting and where is it located?
It's on every Saturday at 10 a.m. at the Height by the mall. Once you come into the lobby, and they will direct you to it, and it's been reserved from now till March.
All right, thank you. Parks and Recreation, Ms. Cardenas, your meeting?
We're meeting 6 p.m. Monday evenings at 3350 Klondike Road, which is the old Vaughters farmhouse located directly across from the big white barn.
Okay. Code Enforcement and Beautification, Ms. Amanda?
We have met, we actually met a couple days ago. We were meeting at Panera. I have a very small group, very dynamic, got a lot done. And our next meeting is going to be on Monday at Panera at 6:30 p.m.
All right.
Panera and Stonecrest.
Mr. Jones, your administration group?
So I'm over city operations. We've met twice. Our meetings are scheduled every Tuesday. Those meetings are usually going to be via conference call. We did take some time to meet at my house in the last meeting. The next meeting will be next Tuesday at 7 o'clock. Did I cover it?
Yes, you did.
About code enforcement, can you speak up anything? Code enforcement, what is it?
The meetings are at Panera Bread. The meeting's gonna be Monday at the Panera Bread in Stonecrest Mall, in the Stonecrest Mall area at 6:30.
All right. These are open public meetings. The Economic Development Committee meets on Tuesdays, 6 p.m. at the Hyatt Place, which we just met this last Tuesday. So for any of you, and of course, when the minutes get published, the meeting schedule will also be published on the website. So any of you who are interested in attending, I am going to offer a cautionary note, and this is for the citizens and the specific group I'm about to address. Those of you who are candidates for public office, you are not members of the community committees. We're asking that you do not come in and take over the discussions of the community committees. It's fine if you attend, you observe, and if the chairs recognize you, offer comment. But there have been some levels of discomfort from the members of the committee that have been expressed to us that some of the candidates for office have come in and attempted to take over the meeting. So we're asking you to respect the process and the citizens who are volunteering their time. If you are elected, you will have your day to show us how smart you are. So with that being said, other citizens, if you are not paneled as a member of the committee, we're asking that you come and observe, and you should certainly make comments when recognized by the chair. And so that we can move through a process, because each of these groups has an agenda that they're working through, and items assigned to them by this commission that they're charged to come up with recommendations regarding.
I'm sorry, I have one other question. We have in our subdivision some physically challenged people who cannot get to meetings, and we have some seniors who cannot get to meetings. Is there a chance that you might choose to publish the committee names and their chairs and members, if you would, so that we can hand those out?
So we'll share with any information that you like. right? So I'll start there. We have already identified on many occasions who the chairs are. We haven't given out their personal contact information very widely because they are private citizens, but in discrete instances where there are accommodations to be made, we will work very diligently to do that. And we did publish in the last meeting the names, and there is a PowerPoint that shares the org chart of the different committees and who serves on those committees. With that being said, the last thing I like to identify is each of the committees, and you'll hear the result of this next week, was responsible for identifying a vice chairperson in the event that the appointed chairperson is not available that week, and the scribe. And so we'll also be publishing who's next down in the process out of those committee meetings next week. Any additional questions?
I was we were trying to get a clear understanding. Who's doing planning and zoning? The planning and zoning committee?
Mr. Ajike is the chair of the planning and zoning subcommittee.
Okay.
Community affairs.
When is this meeting?
Oh, his meeting is Saturdays at 10 a.m. at Hyatt Place. The Community Affairs Committee, and just for clarity's sake, it sounds like Community Affairs is kind of separated into two subgroups. I want to be clear, there's a Community Affairs group. We charge that group to deal with holistically other affairs related to the community, but we've asked them to have a specialization on education and public safety. But there is not a public safety and an education committee. We're asking those groups to work together because there are other things in the community that, based on survey, you all want to have addressed. So I just want to be clear about that. So chair, one of the co-chairs for the committee, Dr. Lee is here. When do you meet in your location?
We meet on Tuesdays at 6:30 at Flat Rock Archives, and that's 3956 Crossvale Road. Now, this coming Tuesday, Johnny will not be in, and I'm not sure that I feel comfortable going in without him. So we will let you know whether it be at Panera or Salem Library. But that would just be for the one time. Otherwise,
Can you clarify something about the committees?
Yes.
The committees are already formed. Are you inviting people to join the committees or just come and sit and listen? I'm not sure.
So, I'll step back for clarity's sake. There was a 6-week time frame that people could submit their credentials to participate on the committees. And we also subsequently had an additional 2-week period to allow people after the first meeting to submit credentials, and more people were added to the committee. So there was a process for those people to submit so that they could be vetted and added to the committees. We read the names in the last meeting of everyone who was being appointed to a committee by the Governor's Commission. My statement here is to ensure the citizens that if you are interested in economic development and you want to come hear what they're talking about and figure out what's happening with the industrial area, the mall, or CID, come sit in that meeting. If you care about code enforcement and beautification, be at the Panera Bread, when they're meeting. That's really the point. So it's open to all of you. Any of your neighbors, whether you're here at this meeting or not, please spread the word. You are welcome to come and observe and provide comment if you're recognized by the chair. Yeah.
Okay, I heard him say that he was having a conference call, and with that being open to the public, can you conference and listen, and if so, can you put that information out there for us? The second question is, can you give me the name of your committee?
Economic Development. We meet Tuesdays at 6 p.m. at Hyatt Place, next to the mall, in the meeting room on the third floor. Every Tuesday at 6 p.m.
We'll publish that conference phone number. I've got to actually talk to my committee, make sure that that's something that the group is ready for. But yeah, I think we can make that happen. Next meeting. Next meeting.
And this stuff is posted on the website.
Yes, so The comment is, can we publish holistically all this information on the website?
Right.
So what we're gonna commit today is, we're gathering the information, because many of the meetings, as you can imagine, there's not a ton of available meeting space in this community. Many of the meetings are happening on similar days and times, in particular because this meeting happens on Thursdays, and many of us are in other meetings on Wednesday evening. And so we're gathering that information, and we're gonna make sure it's all published by Tuesday of next week. And we're going to ensure that the existing minutes of the meetings that have happened previously will also be published by Tuesday, so that you can read them in advance of the reports next week, in advance of attending any other meetings, so that you can catch them. Oh, Mr. Mayor. Other questions, sir?
For those that don't have it, can you share the website?
Yeah.
Sean, the website is
www.stonecrestcity.com. Stonecrestcity.com.
Stonecrest.com.
Mr. John, what's your committee?
City operations.
All right. Two more questions, sir.
I just want to know, who is the scribe for the meeting, how are the meetings being recorded, electronically or being written?
So again, as we shared last week, each committee is, or the week before, each committee is responsible for identifying a person to be the scribe and take the minutes. So each committee has a different scribe. Those minutes are aggregated and submitted to the commission, and then we are publishing those minutes on a monthly basis at the end of the month. And so on Tuesday is the day we'll be publishing the minutes from the previous meeting.
So tonight, we have the scribe.
Oh, for this meeting?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. Would you guys like to address how that happens? I'm only talking about community commission, not the governor's council.
So Ms. Burgess is volunteered to take our minutes and notes for us and done a dynamite job so far. And this apparatus right here is recording the actions of what's happening tonight. So there's I guess a synchrony of actions to make sure it's documented appropriately.
So the meeting, the video for this meeting, as well as previous meetings, as well as the meeting minutes, all posted in one place on the meeting page, which is at stonecrestcity.com.
All right. Anything? One last question, sir.
My name is Roger White, live in the city of Stonecrest. Quick question, will committee members be eligible for employment positions within the city after the elected officials have been commissioned?
I'm not in a position to answer that question. We're aggregating people so that they can provide their talent and efforts to support the city. I'm sure whoever's elected, mayor, council members, can make those determinations, but I would guess that
No, I mean, there's no clause that kind of
themselves.
defaults y'all out, right? Like, because you're on the commission, you can't, that.
So because we're on the commission, we cannot hold elected positions.
I understand.
But I don't think there's anything as citizens or people who might be otherwise qualified for a position that prohibits them from maybe getting employment at some point in the future. I do know that this commission does not plan to recommend ourselves for anything. Make sure we're clear on that. If so, I put myself up for municipal judge,
Mr. Thibodeau, I turn it back over to you. Our report is information.
My question is, are the recordings unedited, and are you also recording the public comments?
So I'm only here for the governor's, I'm gonna turn it back over to our chair, Mr. Thibodeau, who's very capable of taking
Get ready to get good, right? Sean, did you have a response to Mr. Doman's question?
Yeah, so nothing's been edited. So it's from beginning to end. The only thing that I add to the video is the title, which runs all through the video. But nothing is being edited on. The only negative is that I can't get the entire room into the shot because I'm not operating the camera.
Okay.
we down to, getting to the bottom of the agenda. Any comments from commissioners, any of the commissioners for the citizens, or points of personal privilege, as they like to say down at the State House?
Okay, so I have a couple things. First, I'd like to thank everybody who's volunteered and is serving as a committee chairperson, vice chair, committee member. Thank you guys for attending. We certainly appreciate the interest and your commitment to making sure that Stonecrest gets off to a running start. I want to also thank Mr. Curry and his team. Very interesting, when we were considering the matter just a couple weeks ago in regards to bringing on a city attorney for the commission to support us in this transition process, I had a little bit of reservation in terms of the vetting process and how we identified the attorney. Since the night that we officially engaged Mr. Curry, his firm has been running and working very hard, in large part responding to open record requests and other items that that attorneys should take care of, and they've done a dynamite job in representing us. I want to make sure I publicly commend you guys, and I appreciate the fact that we've got an even bigger group. And I don't know how much everybody understands it's valuable to have trained and experienced counsel that's working for free. So we really appreciate it. We thank God for that. Also, too, there was something said earlier, and a couple people addressed it regarding public comment, I think. So from a procedural standpoint, public comment does not have to be covered in the minutes.
That's right, that's what I'm saying.
Right. But it is public comment because it's public comment. Right. And it's not designed to get a question and response or public debate, but it's designed to put or offer your ideas or comments for consideration. And we take that information, I'm sure the public does as well, and that could prompt ideas that are discussed in committees and or that are visited by the commission in whole or in part. So we're not just here listening and ignoring, but the public comment is for the public, which we are a part of as well. And if indeed there are items that need to be taken up or considered or new ways of viewing different things, then that's what we will do either as the commission or in a committee level. And lastly, Mr. Chair, quickly, just by a show of hands, would you raise your hands if you heard about the meeting via newspaper? If you heard about the meeting via newspaper, all right? If you heard about the meeting via website, would you raise your hand? All right, and that was the Stonecrest City website? All right, good stuff. If you heard about the meeting via social media, would you raise your hand?
Does that count next door neighbor?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Next door neighbor would count. That's right.
Next door
That's
neighbor,
right.
yeah.
All right, okay, good stuff. And how many of you just heard this word of mouth? All right, and lastly, how many of y'all just come out here every Thursday no matter what? That's all I have. All right. Thank you. Oh, email. How, the email. See that, Sean? It's working. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Butts, and thank you for pointing out the numerous ways that the Governor's Commission communicates out when we be meeting publicly, what we do in these meetings, and trying to be as transparent as possible in the formation of the city. I'd like to say, I've heard word of mouth and anecdotally that and also from communications to our website that we're going national. We heard that Michael Baisden gave us a shout out last week on the radio as a newly formed city. We've heard from citizens in New Orleans East who are dissatisfied with their services and looking at our model as far as trying to create their own city. And even today, we've heard from a citizen from another city in Oklahoma who's looking to bring this model to their municipality. I know that we, as citizens, some of us were for the city, some of us were against, but we're all citizens of Stonecrest, and we all need to work together. For the record, there was a 70% turnout in the November election in the Stonecrest footprint, and we won by 59 to 41% margin. I think that maybe it's not what some people would call a mandate, but it's definitely more than just a few people who thought that it was right for us to take control of our own destiny and determine how we progress as a community. And I want to thank the citizens, last of all, for being as involved as you are. From the beginning all the way through now, you show up at these meetings, you give your time where you could be doing something else, you ask questions, you want to know, and I consider that, and you know, I'm assuming that you take all this back to your neighbors and you share it with them. I feel privileged to serve a community like this, that is aware and that is involved. And I ask that all of you continue this effort and bring even more people on board. This only works if we all work together. If we don't stand together and we don't remain involved, then what we are stepping away from is what we'll be stepping back into.
I just want to add, and I'm actually digressing, but I'm going to reiterate again, the best place to find out the schedule for the meetings is always going to be a website. I could post in 7 different places. It's not easy to do that. It's time consuming, and if something changes in the agenda, I've got to go back and change all 6 or 7 places, Nextdoor, Facebook, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to always post on the website first. Time permitting, you'll get staggered information from all the other meetings, but please refer to the website first for information.
And please don't be afraid to use the share button. Don't be afraid to use the share button, and if it's in your next door community, you don't see a posting, grab it off the website and post it yourself and share it with your neighbors.
I just wanted to ask again here, has a Twitter account been established for Stonecrest?
We had a Twitter account during the campaign. It has not been used since post the campaign. So, like usually we got more than 100 some odd characters to say. The website is always going to be the best thing.
So it can be utilized later.
Yeah, we have one. Another thing is, you know, these type of apparatuses, like you need to have a specific function or strategy in using them. I suppose the elected officials will maybe utilize them in the future, but right now, city operations, for instance, we don't have a direct purpose for using it now. We have a whole lot more to say, 140 something.
And I would go on to say that in this day and age, maintaining presence on a Twitter account by the nature of Twitter would probably require a full-time presence. As a volunteer group, that's not something that we have.
Right.
I'll recognize this lady and then I'll come back.
I don't live in the city of Stonecrest, but as I look around here, I don't see a lot of young people. And I know that you have schools, and schools have civics and other education that can be enhanced by this process, since we say young people don't vote. At the beginning of building the city of Stonecrest, I would like to see some of the young people get credit for coming here or something, some type of credit so that they can show up and know about the political process. I think it's important that they learn early, but when I look around here, most people, except for a few, are probably over 40. And I think we need to find a way to engage them. I think we need to find a way to engage them and bring them out to
my name is Mercer Butts. I'm his son.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
Yeah.
My name is Joseph Grant. I live in this neighborhood, in this community for about 17 years. And I've been listening to all the different comments. And the lady who spoke tonight, you said something I'm going to take home to my wife. She said, you know what? You know, you live here, and you choose to do business here. I challenge you. You said challenge. So I'm going to challenge you. We come in these, a lot of times we go to these meetings, and we walk out knowing nobody else but the people who came before yourself. So I challenge you tonight, whether you're for Stonecrest or not for Stonecrest, I challenge you to go up to somebody you don't know, 2 people tonight, introduce yourself and say hello to them and walk away. That makes our community better. A lot of times we can't get caught with the pros and cons of it. We gotta get back to the community of knowing one another. So tonight, before you leave, we do the adjournment. Tonight, your goal is 2 people. Now you feel comfortable with someone you don't even know, don't look like you. Go up there and introduce yourself to them. It makes it a little better.
I second that. Okay, we're gonna move on to adjournment, but before we go, I wanna thank you once again for coming and attending this meeting, both the voices of support and the voices of criticism. If we only have, we do best when there is some dissent, that we can discuss the differences that we have and come up with better solutions. Do I have a motion to adjourn from the commission?
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second? All in favor of adjournment, vote by saying aye. Aye. Thank you, this meeting is adjourned.